Hi, I'm I'm former Petty Officer Murphy. I'm a retired Navy vet. I joined the military as 30 years old. Most people say that's too old to join the military, but for me, it was beneficial. It actually took me from a little known place in South Carolina to 95 countries around the world. It gave me a chance to see how people lived and how my life was because when I grew up, put it like this, when I was 3 years old, I was without a mother. So a lot of the people in my life around the world became my mother. A lot of those people became my father. They taught me things that without that, I probably wouldn't be here today. I learned a lot of things through the military, especially the Navy, because you can go in and learn whatever you want to learn. I went to boot camp and they told me the first thing, okay, once you get here and you finish your boot camp, you can be whatever you want to be. When I got there the second week in boot camp, they lost my record. 30 years old, they said I wasn't supposed to be on the base. So the third week I was there, they had me over at the brig because they said I wasn't in the military, you're too old to be here.
Wait,
But as far as recruiting, you can be in to join the military up to 34 years old. You can't turn 35 going to boot camp. I found that out. Most of the people that was in boot camp with me was 17, 18 years old. Here I am at 30 years old and expected to run with them. And I did until I realized that everything in there was sectioned off. They had to run in 9 minutes. I got 12 minutes because it each went by every 10 years on the ninth to birthdays. I enjoyed being in the military. It gave me a chance to look at what I was doing wrong and what I could become later. My job, when I first went to work, I went to work at 9 years old, and I'm from South Carolina. I shouldn't have been working because going to work at 9 years old is something you can't do. That's against the law. But the guy that actually gave me my job, most people say, did you go through racism? This guy was a white guy. He gave me a job at 9 years old, even though he could have went to jail. But it was something to help me out. I wanted a job so I didn't steal anything and go to jail. He gave me a job so I didn't steal anything. So with doing that, I selected the military and I selected the Navy because of one of the guys that was there. I was teaching him to fix sewing machine. He said, why don't you join the military? I said, can't do that. He said, why? You can do that, and I can't do that. I said, they're not going to be running me around the ship in the middle of the night, talking about throwing me off because I'm black. I'm not doing it. He said, they won't do that. Patrick, you're white. They're not going to do that to you. But me, I'm a different color. They won't do that. My family is basically American Indian. And it's a lot of things that goes into that too, as far as people being prejudiced. The United States is basically one of the places where they tell you that we're for you, but when they find out that you're not a certain color, we're for getting you out of here. I had a chance to defend the nation. I had a chance to look at the laws and to somehow vote to try to change that, but it don't always happen like that either. In boot camp, I found out that a lot of the laws was designed to basically not for black people. It wasn't designed for you. It was designed for somebody else, and they designed it so I could be in charge of you to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to follow that myself.
can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Can you tell me some of those places that you've been to, like either outside of the U.S. Or within the U.S.? Can you list those off a little bit and your experiences there, particularly your experiences with race then?
but races, I would have to put it like this. I've been to 95 countries. I've only been called, I hate to put it like this, I've only been called a nigger in the United States. Guess where I was born? Here in the United States. They never called me any other name anywhere else. A lot of them in there, they want to treat you as who you are. You don't have to look at them and say, well, I'm this, I'm that. What do you do? I was put it like this. One of the places that I went to was Crete, Greece. The people there are friendly to most of your family. The crime rate there was zero. So I could go do anything I wanted to do. I started on the base over there. When I first got there, they told me that you're going to be in charge of the airport, which I liked. 2 weeks later, I go back. I have to go see the captain of the base. He said, report with your uniform on. I'm like, so what did I do? What did I do wrong? I've only been here 3 weeks. I became an E6 and an old Billups. The officer that was supposed to come to be the third person in charge there was going to be the operations officer. He got killed in a car wreck. I didn't know that until 2 months after that. But he called me up there and he said, he's going to be late getting here. Your job is to take care of his job and do what you need to do down there. I'm there to certify hazardous material. So when I go in, I say, so if I do this and I'm an E6, everybody else is coming in as an officer. They're not going to listen to me. I said, yes, they will. I said, no, sir, they won't. I'm just an E6. He said, I understand you're just an E6, but I'm putting you in this job. I said, but sir, you don't understand. He said, I understand. I'm putting you in the job. So he put me in as an E6, and I told him, sir, I'm just an E6. He said, I know exactly what you are, and you better not let that come out of your mouth again. So what he was doing to get me ready for something else that I wasn't going to be anyway, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do my job. Sure enough, what I told him happened. Had a plane call in. They said there was a C-130, a heavy C-130. I've never heard of those. I ran the flight deck, but I never heard of a heavy C-130. The C-130 turned out to be a B-1 bomber, loaded with all kind of stuff. They're on the way to the desert. And I told the captain, sir, you have to move your aircraft. He doesn't want to move his aircraft. And I told him that you don't have a choice. You have to move it because if anything blows up from there, it takes out the base. He said, nope, you don't have anything on your shoulder and you can't tell me anything, stay in your pay grade. And I tried to say, you don't understand what you're saying. You have to listen to what I'm trying to get you to understand. He said, I don't have to understand that. And he continued to look at me and tell me that since you're not in my pay grade, and then he started to put his finger on, you don't tell me what to do. There's nothing on your shoulder. And when he did this, and it felt like it touched my nose, lost. So I was surprised I didn't get kicked out. But I did what, like I said, I'm from South Carolina. I'm not from anywhere else. You put your hand on me, I put my hand on you. So I choked him. So from the time I was over there, I had just made 9 years in. I couldn't make the next pay grade because of that, because I put my hand on somebody else. I understood why, but I didn't understand why did you put me in this role when I already told you that what was going to happen. When I went to him, that's the only reason that I didn't get kicked out was because he had already told me, if anything happened, there's only 2 people here on this base that can bother you. I'm the commanding officer and the executive officer. Nobody else can do anything. He said, I won't do anything to you because you'd already told me that. He said, I didn't realize that rank in here would overlook anything else that you have, and it shouldn't be that way. They should follow orders. If you tell them something, find out why.
What role did your family play in your transition back to civilian life?
And my transition back to civilian life, my wife, I would say now, was probably one of the biggest people that helped me transition back. I married her while I was in the military. In fact, I got married to her because I was in the military. I hadn't seen her in 22 years. They sent me to Abu Dhabi. I had to go to a lot of places over there. We go around, I'm walking around, I look in a window. Prettiest thing I ever seen in my life. They had a restaurant in there, tablecloths dropped off the side. They had gold trimmed silverware, gold trimmed glasses and plates. I'm looking in the window, man, this is one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my life. And for a change, I'm out and I'm looking. There's not one table in there that has one male or one female, 2 females or 2 guys in there. They were all couple offs. And it made me feel bad because at this time I'm by myself. So I stepped back from the window and said, God, I don't know why you do this to me. Send me halfway around the world and I don't have anybody in my life. Mess my life up and send me over here. I was about to cry, so let me get away from you. So I walked around. Go down to the next restaurant. I look in there, the same thing. I said, what are you trying to tell me? This doesn't make sense. You sent me halfway around the world to see this prettiest thing I ever seen, and you messed my life up and send me over here to see this. I don't know what to do. And I stepped back, said, I didn't mess your life up. Oh, something. I'm looking around, there's nobody there but me. The streets are dark. Most places over there don't have accurate lights and they're the same thing. So now I don't know what to do. I said, so why did you send me over here to do that? I said, well, you chose to marry that girl yourself. I didn't tell you to do that. You did that. I said, but? I said, no, it's no but. You did that because that's what you wanted to do. I never told you to marry that girl. You did that because you felt like you knew what you were doing. You messed your life up, and now you want to accuse me of doing it. I said, so this somehow doesn't add up. So I stepped back again. I said, so why did you send me over here like this? I said, well, tomorrow I'll show you where I want you to be. I was just like Carl Lewis. I took off, I ran. But you'll find that once you go through that and you have God in your life, you can go as fast as you want to. You cannot run the force. When I got to the edge of the beach, I had probably about a quarter mile to go to the ship. I'm by myself. I'm not supposed to be by myself in a foreign country. I got so tired that I put my back into the corner of the wall and said, they'd already taken me through anti-terrorism warfare, told me how to defend myself and everything. But I was out there by myself and I was afraid. I said, you don't have to come in front of me. You're not going to do that. You have to kill me before you do anything else. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm trying to save your life. I'm telling you this because this is going to tell you where I am with my family. But he said, I'm trying to save your life. So tomorrow, when you find out what's going on, you'll see at another point in your life that I saved your life. When they stopped talking, I ran again. I got to the ship. I told them somebody trying to kill me. I don't see them. They're in the dark, but I know they're behind me. So what are you doing? I said, we're just going in. And if anybody come in behind you, we'll know that's who it was. That's okay. But you got some mail. You got a letter. Post office closed. I got duty the next day. So I didn't worry about the mail. Next day, I got duty. I go get my mail. I got a letter from the wife I'm married to now. I look at it. She said, whenever you get to a telephone, give me a call. So I called her. I had met her. She was 14 years old, but I didn't see her for 22 years. The letter said, give me a call. I called her, end up talking to her. She worked at General Mills, but they always worked on Easter Sunday. The day that I had all this stuff going on, that was Good Friday. Passover Saturdays, when I got the letter. Easter Sunday was when I talked to her. When I got back, I ended up getting married to her. We have a daughter, 29 years old. She'd been at Spelman College. But everything that he told me worked out. When I had a heart attack after I got out of the military, guess who was trying to save me? She was.
Well, congratulations on it.
Say again?
On congratulations on the baby.
Sorry.
She didn't know she's 29.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add that we haven't touched on?
Probably PTSD and recruiting here in Buffalo.
You enjoy to touch on that?
Yes. PTSD, most of them will tell you that, because you went to this place and that happened, this happened, you don't have PTSD. When I went to the VA, didn't know nothing about no PTSD and none of this stuff. She said, I think you have PTSD. I said, no, I wasn't in any of the battles. I took people over there so they could do stuff like that. So did you see anybody die on the ship? I said, well, people died. I wasn't there to see it. Hurricane Hugo. We was out in Hurricane Hugo. The water level up to the flight deck on an aircraft carrier is 92 feet. We took waves at another, say, 50 feet above that, so we're taking waves on about 150 feet in the air. They decided to drop the elevators, bomb elevators, aircraft elevators, while we was out to sea. The waves came in the first time because they were loaded with bombs. Most of these bombs on there 10,000 pounds or more. But we got crates on the elevator out there that I'm in charge of operating. Other people on the elevator work for me. We got that filled. And every time we hit a wave, it would shake. I said, well, sir, because I had an office up, I said, can we do this? We'll load up elevator 4. And if we hit a wave over there, then we'll know that each one of the elevators is going to take on water. 4 elevators. We're not going to do that. And you're not in charge. All I need you to do is go down and get a shower and go to bed. So wouldn't it make sense to use a bomb elevator instead of use that? Like I said, you're not in charge. Go to bed. Okay? I go down there and I get in the shower. Next thing, here's man overboard, all hands to muster. We got over 6,000 people on the ship. Now, most people say, how do you miss one person? If somebody hits the water, they got somebody back there to watch out for. In less than 3 minutes, we'll know who that person is that fell off the boat, and we'll get you out of there. So we kept training for that, and then all of a sudden they call in. I'm in the shower, and they looking for me. I got to try to get dressed and get up there. All this time, when I got up there, I said, so what happened? They dropped the elevator. I said, they did what? So they dropped the elevator with the bombs on there, and they had 3 people on there, and the guy that's operating the elevator. One guy was on a forklift, which was a good friend of mine. When the elevator hit the first time, they said it shook. The second time, everything on that elevator got washed into the ocean. I don't know if you know what Mariana's Trench is or not. That's part of it comes off a trench that comes up off of the coast of Florida, and it goes out to sea in the Atlantic. That's the deepest part of the ocean. We never found one thing that went down in Mariana's Trench. Nothing. No bombs. They couldn't detect it or anything. So I lost one of my best friends, which went back to the thing that you asked about PTSD also. I had PTSD from that. He would come to me and talk to me at night while I was sleeping, tell me different things that happened, and that he was still strapped onto the forklift that was lifting the bombs when the wave hit. And that they wasn't going to find him. And for me to go and kill the aircraft handler, which was the one that was over the stuff in the flight deck. He told me everything that happened. He said, this is where he lived. And he works at this place here. Everything he told me was true. And it bothered me so bad that I had to go to a behavior specialist at the VA for it. And they explained to me that everybody has PTSD, even though he said, I've never been through this. PTSD is just a dream, a reality that keep coming up over and over and over that you can't get away from. So for them to tell you that you don't have PTSD, that's not true. And a lot of the other things that went on, people would come back and tell me at the VA that I have Agent Orange, but they told me I don't have Agent Orange. The sister, why do you feel like you had Agent Orange? Because I was here and I was there. My job is certifying hazardous material for the Navy. Took me into Agent Orange too. The planes and the ships that carried the Agent Orange to Vietnam wasn't cleaned out till 1992. Vietnam War had been over. But if you laid back in that C-130 on that paint, if you went in the ship and you laid up against a bulkhead on that, you got PTSD and you got Agent Orange and you was never around it. A lot of the other things that happened in there because of the fact that most people don't know that the hazardous material and stuff is around gives you a lot of things. I was able to find that out because the Navy sent me to hazardous material school. And then learning one part, it took you into another part. And each time you do that, you find out something we do right and something we did wrong. And as far as the other thing that we didn't talk about, as kids going into the Navy or going into the military, it's something I think they need to bring back the drafts because all we got now is kids killing each other. I don't have a reason to go to this. I have no idea what am I going to do. If they put them in there, it gives them some discipline and it gives them another direction and an education that I can take care of myself. I've been doing it pretty much since I was 3 years old. They didn't have to beat me for it. They didn't have to tell me I have to go join the military. I did it on my own. When I went to join the Navy, when they called me up and told me I was going to be drafted, they canceled the draft, same day. So that was God already taking care of me. Didn't even have to do that. I lost a lot of friends in Vietnam, but I also gained a lot of friends when I went into the Navy. I didn't have to go into the Navy, but it was something that was missing out of my life. I had to find out what it was missing. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, and I did not want to pay for it. I've now been in 95 countries. I did not pay for any of it. I've seen the world, and I got friends all over the world. So if I was to get kicked out of the United States now, I know I have somewhere else I can go. So that thing never worries me. I've died twice. That don't worry me because I know God will take care of me. He's already did it. I had a heart attack and an aneurysm. I had the aneurysm while I was in the military, heart attack outside the military. God said he'd take care of me. I had the heart attack because he said I was out there chasing money trying to find a job after I got out. I wanted to make $350 a week, so my wife didn't go to work. Okay, I got a job, paid me $350 a week. That's hit me. I got nothing to worry about. So after I had the heart attack, she said, now, I have you where I want you. You can't do anything. You can't go anywhere. You have to listen. Why are you chasing money? I'm not chasing money. Yes, you are. You asked me to be comfortable. Did I not make you comfortable? Yes, you did. But why are you chasing money? I'm not chasing money. I went and got that job. So all you have to do is what I asked you to do, and I'll take care of you. I went back and did what they asked me to do. That was to give 10% of the money that I earned back to the church, back to God, and to give the 10% of the most expensive thing that I have in my life. Most people say, well, I got a house. That's not it. Your time is the most expensive thing you have. You can buy a house, you can get a job, make more money, but you cannot buy more time. When your time's up, you're gone. So I did what he told me to do. I don't work. I have more than I had. I have more than most of my family did. And most of my grandparents, I know I have more than they did. But I don't look at what they had. I look at where God has taken me to. I'm a deacon at the church that I go to. And my biggest thing is to help the kids get from where they are, where I want to kill you, to what can I do so we can survive together? Or we can make something together. Somehow we have to survive instead of killing each other. Military is a great start. You don't have to be in a fight. I never picked up a weapon against anybody. But the most important thing you can use to get to where you want to go, it's not this. It's big. That's the biggest thing you can do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you to all of you here today. Thank you for everything. You well.
I'm glad